Morning, welcome to the video. So it is the 3rd of June, and that at the start of the year, when I mark out my calendar of how it's going to work and stuff, so the 1st of June marks the start of the summer lawn care season. So the plan is that I will have all my jobs done, all my springtime jobs done by sometime in May, leaving space for bad weather, etc, etc, and I hope to get everything done by middle of May. Well, it's the 1st of June and I'm at Wet Lawn, and I had a bit of a turn up for the books. Saturday became available to me for work, so the 2 wet lawns I was able to do one on Saturday, and it's now Monday, helicopter going over, and so it's Monday now, and I'm finishing off the wet lawn that that I've been to for 16 episodes. This is in the 10 years I've been doing bits of YouTube, this 16 episodes in a row is the longest run I've ever had, so pretty pleased with that. But I guess I'm not trying to sync any music to the videos anymore. I'm just showing you sort of as a diary vlog how it goes, and it means I can put the content out. So anyway, there's a couple of things about the 1st of June. One is obviously the summer treatment start, and I'm only really one working day behind, so it's somehow worked out okay. However, that red thread has gone from bad to worse, so we are going to have to deal with this, and that is what we're doing today. So I haven't been here for 2 weeks, and you can see we've got some real active red thread on the go, so we need to deal with this and get this sorted. Look at that. So we are going to dehydrate the red thread, and then we are going to grow it out. And also there's some weeds in the lawn, so we're going to deal with those too. But before we deal with the red thread, we're just going to run around with the strimmer, do all the traditional edging and stuff like that. So we're on wet lawn now, and finally for the first time this year, the 3rd of June, I've been able to run a mower from this tree here to that goal mouth, or that goal post. All this, you could barely walk on it, and I've had to strim it down until now. I've run the Time Master over. Equally, this area here, if you remember, I was having to wear wellies and sort of top it off with the strimmer just to stop it getting wild. And it is a wild area, that's exactly what it's meant to be, but not quite as wild as it was. I think for the first time we're going to actually be able to get the mower over. So I'm going to take the Time Master over, put it on its highest settings, open the flap, and open the back as well, and then just let it fly. Okay, it's Wednesday, but I am on a Thursday lawn, and I will explain that tomorrow why. But what I am doing is just going around, just cutting the kind of the wild grass. I cut some paths in at the start of the year. I have to let them go, or I had to let them go, because the formal lawns were just getting out of hand. So we're leaving the long stuff, and yeah, so now all we're doing is just keeping some areas here. That is the bonfire area, so I've just cut kind of around it, and then this is quite a steep bank with a lot of holes in and stuff, so the mower would sometimes fall in and ground out. So last year we used the Trackmaster flail mower to cut this. I think I did like a YouTube short on it. I have got the footage of that, and I will hopefully put that video out soon enough. What I do need to do is get this grass down, particularly this strip along the perimeter, basically, because this hedge is will be due to be cut in the summer, basically when I've got some time. But there is a wildlife fence in there, and I generally cut it back to the fence. But what it also means is when you're tidying it all up and stuff, it's much easier to do it with shorter grass. Okay, this is the 13th day, and the covers really are ready to come off. You can see them bulging with the grass underneath. My only issue is if I take this off, my family and everybody else
these people I don't even know will turn up from somewhere and start using this as a bloody speedway or something. So I am actually going to keep it on for the full 2 weeks, and then probably keep it on an extra day, which will take us to Monday, and then it should have a good week of people keeping off it. If I take it off on the Friday or the Saturday, then you've got the whole weekend for God knows what to go on it. And although, you know, the seed has developed and it's now seedlings, and, you know, in some cases the original grass is back to established grass, it still doesn't need a game of five-a-side on yet.
A few people have asked me about the sports metal brush and how to put it on, etc., how to take it off, and somebody asked me to do a video on it. Essentially, when you get this sports metal brush, as a lot of people who own them will find out, what you'll get is some parts. You get a massive bag of bolts. The bolts may not necessarily be the right bolts, and there's no instructions, so it's all a massive amount of guesswork, which isn't ideal. But essentially, you will get it together. And what I suggest is you put it together, and then particularly if you want to take it on and off, you sort of keep it in this form. So what you'll also have to do is actually probably drill some of your own holes, etc. And then you can kind of see, I keep it in this form here, so I know exactly where everything is. So the first thing you're going to need to do, easier, is put it on its highest setting. Now these structures here, these poles here, I've taken the initial bolts off. So this is a 13mm socket set and spanner you'll need, or socket shall I say. I always keep a magnetic metal tray with me, just so if ever I'm doing anything in the grass, I don't lose bolts. So spanner underneath, behind. By putting it on its highest setting, it just makes it a lot easier to work with. This isn't the original nut, this isn't the original bolt. This is just something I've used which works with the brush and without the brush. And essentially what you've got in here is one nut. You've basically got a washer here, a washer in between here, and then a washer and a nut on the inside. So it's the same on both sides. So I'm telling you that because sometimes things just fall out and you can't really see where they're falling out from. So there you go. Nut and washer, bolt and washer. Okay, so what I can do there is just put this together, put that there, and it's exactly the same on the other side. Now we've done that, we're going to probably have to, just at the front here, is take these off. I only do these finger tight, just so everything stays in the right order and reminds me where it goes. So we'll just put those there for the second. Out the way, we're going to slide this back and line this up here. So then, okay, so you've got to remember you're using the pre-drilled holes that you've made, not the ones that possibly it came with. So nut, washer, put it through, then that's where the washer went, and then washer on the inside, and it's a lock-in nut. Okay, so just get that going. As I say, this is a hell of a lot easier when the mower's on its highest setting. Okay, so, and this bolt is just something that I've added. I don't even know whether it came with the set or not. It's just you're looking for something which is will fit the original Hayter holes, but equally is long enough to get all of this stuff together. So we'll do that, and it's exactly the same on the other side. Okay, so that's on now. Maybe so this can lift up and down, so you can sort of just, I've done it tight enough that actually that sits up like that. So this is a 17mm socket. So we're just going to take these off. Now these are the original lock-in nuts which come with this. Exactly the same on the other side. Okay, so you won't need these anymore, or certainly while this is on. And then what you get here is, I don't quite know what you call it, it's threaded all the way through. And this, basically it's a spacer and a nut at the same time. So I tend to do it up. I want to go as tight as I can. And there we go, that's perfect. And I want to do the same on the other side as well, which should be over here somewhere. Here it is. And to be honest, I've always just done them up kind of finger tight maybe, and then 17mm spanner, just give them just a little bit of a pinch up. And you can see there that the wheel has just stopped spinning quite so freely. So it's getting that balance of it being on, but not restricting the wheel. Okay, so that's that. Then we just bring it down. And when I set this height, I basically just set it. Now, this is where it gets confusing. If you remember what I said, you can't have it on its highest height when it's bolted on. It just doesn't quite work. So here we go. So there we go. We've basically got the option of about 3, 4 or 5. You obviously could set the whole thing up to have it on its highest setting, but if the grass is that long, you're never going to be brushing it. That would be madness. So let's put it on setting 3 for the moment. That's roughly where we want it. Then what we have is one of these. It's a nut, it's a washer and a spacer. Put that through there. Make sure this is lined up. And here we go. Then we can use our 17mm socket. To do that up. And then what we can do is hold the spacer on here tight, and then we can just tighten that up to there. Same on the other side. But there you go, and that's it. And now it's set up. Got setting 2's okay, setting 4's okay. I'm sort of struggling to get to 5, and I can't even get anywhere near 1. So obviously, depending on what sort of heights you use will depend how you set it up. But this actually is probably on its highest. Don't know if you can see there that the spacer is right down the bottom, so obviously I could lower this down, but everything seems to be kind of at its highest. You can leave the bumper on, and you know, this hasn't even taken 10 minutes and I'm stopping to make the videos, etc. So yeah, hope you found that helpful should you choose to go down the brush route. Okay, so it is Thursday today, and I am at my Friday lawn. The reason for that is because, as I said to you last week, I was going to look to start doing some lawn care on this lawn, but it was flipping windy, so there was no chance of that happening. So just to give me a little bit more time, so this is an existing lawn, but the client came on, a new client moved in, and I guess just while she kind of got used to what she was doing, you know, used to the house and that, I just maintained it. But now we've got the go ahead to start treating it. So we're gonna basically put some selective down. We're gonna mow it, obviously, tidy it up, and then put some selective down with a little bit of chelated iron in there. And that's really it for today on the front lawn. And then on the back lawn, we're obviously going to cut it And then this sort of first third, that was what I always used to treat for the well, I used to treat it all actually, but then we just started creating too much waste by fertilizing it all, so it's just this front third, which is the third I kind of look after and treat. We've got loads, you've got the clover flowering there, and we've got a yellow suckling clover flowering here too, so this lawn's in an awful state, but it, you know, nothing's happened to it since last year. So yeah, a little bit of iron, as I say, and some selective weed killer. The flowers, when they are actively growing, is the best time to spray them with selective. So this is today is a good day, not too much wind, and no chance of rain. What I will do, however, is I'll use the iron and the selective on these lawns. Then the back lawns, what we've got some real sort of like big broadleaf dandelions and stuff like that. So then what I will do is I'll probably just run over and spot treat those ones. However, I don't want any iron in the tank when I spot treat, because obviously then you'll have not only dying weeds, you'll have dark areas of lawn as well. So it's important not to have the iron in there at that point. So we'll use all the iron up on the more formal lawns, and then just use selective on the spot treatments. New client alert. So I've double cut it. A lovely garden really. A few dog patches, but everyone's got a dog nowadays, haven't they? So we've double cut it. It looks actually a lot better than in real life than it does on the camera. A friend of mine is quoting to take half, all the trees at the back going to come down in half. That big bad boy in the middle is probably going to come out, and the one in the corner is going to take a few branches off at the bottom to raise the canopy. But yeah, I'm really pleased with it. It's a good client. It's nice and close to home. It's a bit dry. It's had no treatments at the back, so yeah, it's had no treatments. So we'll look to get some weeds removed, etc., etc., and basically just get it into a position ready for the autumn to probably top dress, seed, etc., etc. But on the whole, great garden, in good condition, but with a lot of room for improvement. This is the front, so just gone for the single stripe at the front, which would be nice actually, because this is it's a road where people will actually get to see the stripes. So again, Green Thumb has been looking after the front lawn. To be fair, there's a few, no, there's no real weeds. Yeah, there's a few, but it's quite difficult because of all the little nuts which fall off the trees. But actually what they have been doing is put them in the beds and using them kind of as a mulch really, which is quite a nice idea. Okay, so just finished spraying the lawn for weeds. I've got to put a touch of iron in there just for colour, but one thing I do when I'm using iron, and to be fair, I'm not using that much, literally just to add a little bit of colour to it, that's all. You see the patio looks very new, and I've got to walk across that, and I'm not staining this because I'm not replacing it or cleaning it. So I have my wellies and I have my trainers, and I take my trainers off and I put my wellies on, I spray the lawn, and then I swap back to the trainers. And I do that on any lawn where I've got to walk across like flags like this, which could potentially stain up. If it's gravel or something like that, I'm not bothered. But yeah, this is just a little something that I do, and sometimes I'll even put a rubbish bag down and use that as like a little sort of changing station, if you like. because fortunately I've not had any problems, but I know I've got clients who have fired people because of that issue. So fortunately I've by taking precautions it's never been a problem, but it's something to be aware of.